Why can't van doors swing open instead of slide? Why do minivans handle like trucks? Why can't they feel more like a car? This is what the engineers at Mazda wondered when they designed the MPV. Because when you ask better questions, you tend to come up with better answers.
Why does your door do that?
The MPV from the new Mazda.
It just feels like...
I'm a big man.
Why do so many men stick with Bic?
I'm a big man.
Because there's a Bic for every beard. Regular, sensitive, metal.
Yeah, I'm a big man.
I'm a big man.
A car with a worn suspension is more than uncomfortable. It's unsafe. But Midas puts you back in control. For a limited time, buy one Shocker strut and get the second for 50% off. For a safer suspension, nobody beats Midas.
What you want is food with the taste you love.
We're gonna have 6 Big Macs.
Yes, 6 Big Macs, 4 quarter pounds with cheese.
What you need is a break for your budget.
Where do you want to go? I only got a couple bucks.
What you deserve is to be treated the way you like to be treated.
Did you get that concert on Saturday?
No, I missed it, and I really did want to go. Well, here's your favorite seat.
That's what you want. That's what you get at McDonald's today.
NBC presents country music's biggest week of the year. First on Tuesday, Garth Brooks is back. America's greatest performer returns to NBC. Then Wednesday, live from Hollywood, it's country music's biggest night. Garth Brooks, Reba McEntire, Clint Black, and others on the Academy of Country Music Awards. Garth Brooks, Tuesday, the Academy of Country Music Awards, Wednesday on NBC.
If you think you have only 2 choices for business computer systems, think again. Hewlett-Packard.
The last thing the average person wants is the average car. That's why the new Mazda brought you the return of the pure sports car, the all-new RX-7, and the return of the Roadster, the Miata. That's why our 929 feels timeless, and our MX-3 feels personal. It's why every Mazda will fulfill its promise in a way no other car can.
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. After all, why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
This is an NBC News special report. Here is Garrett Gutley.
And here is the latest on the earthquake in Northern California, which registered 7 on the Richter scale. The epicenter is believed to be in the Pacific Ocean, about 35 miles southwest of the city of Eureka. And Howard Holtzapfel of station KXGO in Eureka, radio station, was in the area when it struck. What kind of damage did you see, Howard, in the town of Ferndale?
We saw several buildings that were being rocked off their foundations. We saw windows, plate glass windows, exploding into crowds of people in the streets. Chimneys were knocked off of several buildings, and we noticed a roof coming off of one of the buildings. We had a call-in report at the station of a building that had actually collapsed and that somebody was believed to be trapped inside the building.
All right, Howard Holtzapfel, thank you for that report from Eureka and Ferndale. So far, no reports of any deaths or serious injuries. We'll have more details as they come in a full wrap-up tonight on NBC Nightly News. I'm Garrett Gutley, NBC News in New York. Now to Tom Hammond in Portland.
A Rim Rocket NBA playoff doubleheader, Sunday on NBC.
boy, I had kind of a big year in my garden. So we're going to be making a lot of salads at Wendy's. It'll be a nice change of pace. Taco salads with rich and meaty chili, deluxe garden salad, and a delicious new grilled chicken salad with a breadstick. My daughter Wendy's idea. Made fresh every day because that's the way they're best.
It's Dave's Salad Days at Wendy's. 5 salads that are fresh, fast, and ready to go.
I think I used too much water.
Miller Lite is the great beer that's less filling. It's everything you want a beer to be.
I didn't think she'd come.
I know she'd come. Yeah.
Miller Lite is sitting at that. Come on!
All two-seaters are temperamental, demanding, expensive.
Ford Ranger, the two-seater that hates to be pampered.
Morning breath.
As soon as I have my coffee, it's all gone.
Whether you admit it or not, it's a problem.
Okay, I have morning breath, but it doesn't bother anyone.
Don't be so sure.
Mine's not so bad.
Morning breath's not as bad as you think. It's worse. So get Scope. Its 2 powerful ingredients kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Was my morning breath really that bad?
There's no denying morning breath, so save your breath with Scope.
You'd think the world would be nothing but a blur at this speed. But at 200 miles an hour, a lot of things become clear. Like what technology can help make our cars perform better, our trucks tougher, and help make them all safer for the street. Because at Ford, we want to stay ahead in more places than just the racetrack. Have you driven a Ford lately?
For 7 years, they've kept you laughing. Tonight, the Golden Girls will leave you speechless.
Oh, my God, somebody get help!
When Rose suffers a major heart attack, the Golden Girls you can't afford to miss. And then at 8:30, 7:30 Central, Carol bores her shrink to sleep, and she's ready for the rubber room. It's a full hour of Empty Nest on NBC tonight.
Miller Lite is the great beer that's less filling. It's everything you want a beer to be.
I didn't think she'd come.
I know she'd come. Yeah.
Miller Lite is sitting at that. Come on!
Introducing the new Ford Taurus and the button. The new Taurus now offers remote radio controls, express down power windows, and better night visibility. Because when it comes to convenience, we push all the right buttons.
The new Sperry topsider, now with considerably more cushioning.
Microsoft Excel can take any spreadsheet figure and easily turn it into a beautiful fact. All you do is point and click. Microsoft Excel, the spreadsheet for Windows.
Introducing the new Ford Taurus and the dummy. Ford Motor Company has the only cars in this class that offer dual airbags. And to help make sure you won't have to use them, we also offer anti-lock brakes.
Chicago, Miami. Michael Jordan and the world champion Bulls are feeling the heat. Then Detroit. Detroit, New York. Two Eastern Conference rivals battle it out in the Big Apple. A rim-rocking NBA playoff doubleheader, Sunday on NBC.
This, as you can see by the notation, is Bob Costas in New York. Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll take a look at highlights from the overtime thriller at Boston Garden between the Celtics and Pacers, and we'll bounce around the league for playoff reports from Golden State, Cleveland, and New York. Right now, let's head back to Memorial Coliseum in Portland and rejoin Tom Hammond and the snapper, Steve Jones. Tom?
AT&T has sized up small businesses and found they come in many sizes. To fit them, we've created the AT&T Partners in Business Plan. The plan that gives you a choice. Make a list of the 20 people your business calls most. For everyone that's an AT&T customer, you'll get a 20% discount. Or here's another choice that makes this plan unique. If your calling patterns change month to month, you can get a 20% discount on the area code you call most, automatically. AT&T Partners in Business. More choices, because one size does not fit all. Call us.
Ask anyone who's driven a Ford lately. Ask them about quality. One of the reasons 5 of the 10 best-selling cars and trucks in America are Fords. The F-Series pickup, Taurus, Explorer, Escort, and Ranger. 5 out of 10 of the country's best sellers. It's quality that breeds success. Have you driven a Ford lately? It's more than just a question. It's an answer.
I would recommend to the average car owner that they change their oil every 3,000 miles. The cheapest insurance that you will ever buy for the life of your car is to keep your engine oil changed. I would recommend Pennzoil because Pennzoil outperforms any leading motor oil against viscosity breakdown. You can't afford it. You can't afford to have the wrong product in your engine. Pennzoil, performance, protection, quality. That's what Pennzoil means to me.
It was the show you planned your Thursdays around. Now, after 8 years of magical moments, it's time to come back to the biggest one of all.
My baby's graduating from college.
As a mother and father say goodbye to their children, join us one last time to say farewell to an American tradition. The final Cosby Show, NBC Thursday.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the companies of the Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid, the Prudential.
Halftime at Memorial Coliseum in Portland. The Trailblazers lead the Lakers 50-37. Portland looking to take a 2-game lead in the best-of-5 series. Bob Costas back, along with Quinn Buckner in New York. The first half of our doubleheader today featured the Pacers and the Celtics in a nail-biter from the Boston Garden. And here's a look at some of the highlights as the Celtics wound up taking a 2-0 lead. Indiana was up 12 at the half. Early in the third quarter, Chuck Person hits the fadeaway, plus he's fouled. Indy up at that point by 11. Person had 15 of his 32 points in the third. Late third quarter, Celtics on a 13-4 run, capped by this John Bagley three-pointer plus the foul. Winds up being a 4-point play, cuts Indiana's lead to 2. Bagley matched his career high with 35 points, also had 15 assists. Final minute in regulation, game tied at 102. Bagley could have won it. It went in and out. Reggie Lewis from the side, that doesn't go, and into overtime they go. In the extra session, Bagley will miss inside, but he stays with it, gets the offensive board, feeds Robert Parrish for the layup. Boston takes a 112-108 lead. Parrish finishes with 23. Bob Hill unable to hide his frustration. The final 119-112 in favor of the Celts, again without Bird, now 10-0 in his absence.
And without Bird, that helps them a lot because that gives him an extra week to rest. But what you got to like is Robert Parrish had 14 rebounds. Kevin McHale had 11. John Bagley, not only did he do a good job offensively, defensively, he didn't let Michael Williams create the opportunities that Indiana likes him to get, dishing off to the guys to shoot the three-pointer.
Now, here's a guy, as Marv Albert and Mike Fratello pointed out in the game broadcast, wasn't even supposed to make the team at the beginning of the year. Third on the depth chart, coming off a season where he misses the entire year with a knee injury. Not only makes the team, but at midseason, he's third. Even after the Brian Shaw trade, Dee Brown's ahead of him, obviously, and the newly acquired Sherman Douglas is, and now here he is starring in the playoffs.
Well, it is a tremendous story because this kid had to make a decision as to whether or not he was going to continue to play basketball, and he didn't come into camp in shape, and I talked to Chris Ford, the coach of the Celtics, about him, and they didn't know whether or not they even wanted to keep him around, and lo and behold, that's why they tell you in this league you just have to bide your time. Come ready to play, bide your time. You see this kid has a career game, and a big game for the Celtics, I think.
Okay, Game 3 is Monday at Market Square Arena. Coming up next, we'll get playoff reports from Cleveland, Golden State, and here in New York. We're all over the place. Right after this message from Prudential and a word from the NBA.
In a world of sweeping changes, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the Rock. The Prudential Rock Solid.
If it makes you nervous to have someone my size in your face, now you know how your kid feels when you're in his.
Okay, we already told you that the Celtics came from behind to beat the Pacers earlier in Boston. The Seattle Supersonics thus remain the only team to win on the road so far in these NBA playoffs. The Sonics knocked off Golden State on Thursday night in Oakland, 117-109. Game 2 is back at the Oakland Coliseum less than an hour and a half from now, and Don Criqui has a game report. Don?
Bob, the feeling in the Golden State organization is that this is the Warriors' biggest game since their championship season 17 years ago. Before Game 1, Seattle coach George Karl said, "We're the underdog, but I think we can beat Golden State," and George Karl thought right. One of the guys who helped make it happen was veteran guard Ricky Pierce, who scored 28 Thursday night. Ricky, you know the pressure is on the Warriors now, and they're a team that can make changes, do some fine-tuning. What do you look for to do go differently?
I think they're going to try and control us on the boards. We really put it to them on the offensive boards, and they know that's a problem, and I think they're going to come out with a game plan for that.
Right now, there's a lot of people, Ricky, that feel that the Sonics are one of the 4 or 5 best teams in the league. Certainly you were over the last half of the season. They've called George Karl, your coach, the Billy Martin of basketball. What's he done to elevate this team and make you so much better?
Well, first of all, he has put us in a position where we can play more transition basketball. We want to get out and run every opportunity we have. Defensively, we really going at it. We pressing a lot, and just playing pressure defense.
Ricky, good luck the rest of the way. You had a great night the other night.
Thank you very much.
Ricky Pierce to the Sonics. Now let's go back to Bob Costas in New York.
Don, thanks a lot. Meanwhile, over in the Eastern Conference in New York last night, the Knicks crushed the Pistons 109-75 in the opening game of that series. Game 2 is back at Madison Square Garden tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, and we'll have it here on NBC. Gail Gardner caught up with both teams earlier today at practice.
Thank you, Bob. The Knicks practicing in Purchase, New York, while the Pistons are here at the John Jay College for Criminal Justice. And criminal, an appropriate word for what the Knicks did to the Pistons last night. These Knicks bearing no resemblance to the team that finished the regular season with no confidence and no spark.
Last night, we came out, clicking on all cylinders. Everybody, had a great game. We executed our game plan. We did everything, we needed to do to get the win.
We've had problems scoring all year. We've got some outstanding defensive people on the floor, but sometimes that doesn't translate into enough offense. Somehow, they're taking Isaiah out of the game. We've got to get him reestablished offensively, and that could help.
Tell me about the black sneakers.
Well, it was Patrick's idea. We had talked about it, and it really shows unity, togetherness, and it shows that we're on a mission. And it really worked last night, and we're going to keep it.
They don't come off.
No, it's the shoes.
Athletes, of course, not superstitious at all. The Knicks have to continue their focus and their intensity. As for the Pistons, they have to regroup and show us the spark that made them two-time world champions. Let's go back to Bob in the studio.
All right, Gail, and enjoy yourself there at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Game 2 of the New Jersey-Cleveland series is tonight at the Richfield Coliseum. Cleveland won Game 1 on Thursday, 120 to 113. For a report, let us bring in Jim Donovan. Jim?
Thanks, Bob. Here in Cleveland, the Nets and Cavaliers both had morning workouts as they get set for their Game 2 tonight. And two men that must be contained in Game number 2 are Drazen Petrovic of the Nets and Brad Dory to the Cavaliers. They each had 40 points in the opener. When I spoke to the two of them this morning, they know that they'll get a lot of defensive attention tonight.
You know, they'll change their strategy, and we'll change ours a little bit, and I'm going to have to pass a little bit more tonight and look for the open guys. But, you know, I love to pass the basketball, and I'll be willing to do that.
I got to be patient tonight and try to find an open man, play with my teammates, and this is a crucial game for us.
Petrovic and Doherty each played 47 minutes in the opening game back on Thursday night. Now, the Nets have had a lot of trouble winning here in Cleveland. They have lost 15 in a row here at the Coliseum, and the Cavaliers were very loose at practice. For the first time in their history, they actually won a Game 1 in a playoff series. Everybody's healthy and ready to go. That's the story on the Nets and Cavaliers from Cleveland. I'm Jim Donovan. Now let's go back to New York and Bob.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. And finally, we eavesdropped on a Jazz practice earlier today in Salt Lake City, where last night Utah blew out the Clippers to take the opening game of that series. Fresh off the win, the Jazz say they're taking a new approach to the playoffs.
I think as a team, we're playing with a little more confidence in each other. And we've gotten closer as the season went on. So I think that those kind of things that help you win in the playoffs. And I think everybody realized what we have to do. We're not doing a lot of talking. We're just going out playing.
You know, we feel very relaxed right now, and we're just going to, you know, keep working and just don't worry about the pressure, worry about getting knocked out. Just play basketball, and I think we're business to take care of itself.
All right, you got a thought on the Nets and the Cavaliers among that group?
I do, and the reason being is I think that Sam Bowie is the guy that's got to stand up and play big. Doherty got 40 points in the game they played before, but Bowie, a guy, one of the top 2 assist centers in the league, had only 1 assist. So I expect he's going to come out and play better, and they've got to defend the pick and roll. Mark Price shot the three-pointer, and there was nothing that New Jersey could do. They've got to contain him, force him inside to kick it off.
Bowie has always said that Doherty gives him more trouble than any other opposing center.
Doherty is one of the best centers, top 3 centers, I think, in the game, because he not only can shoot the ball, but he can pass it. So he does a lot of little things, and he's a wide body, takes up a lot of space, and a little more mobile than I think that Sam Bowie would like to have anybody be, but Doherty for sure.
Trivia department, the last time the Cavs won a playoff series, Bill Fitch, the opposing coach in this series, was their coach back in the mid-'70s.
Well, I don't know if the trivia is going to work for New Jersey for the series this time. I think Cleveland's a better team and will win it.
Just a little something to help you in case the wagering gets hot and heavy later in the day. We'll return with second half action. The Blazers over the Lakers at this point by 13, right after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the companies of the Prudential. In a changing world, one thing remains rock solid: the Prudential.
A lot of customers make their buying decision on how they've been treated in service departments. None of us really want to take our cars into service. It's a necessity, and we realize that. So when they come here, we try to get them in and out as quick as possible. We try to treat our customers that come in for service the way we'd want to be treated if we went into their place of business for service. That's why I say, if you don't come see me today, I can't save you any money.
The screams are silent under the North Pacific. Drift nets 30 miles long, 60 feet deep, used by Asian fishing fleets, were curtains of death for whales, dolphins, fish, and seabirds.
Fish that would be coming back to Oregon waters were not coming back.
To protect the marine environment and jobs in Oregon's fishing industry, Packwood passed legislation putting drift netting nations on notice to stop or face sanctions. They stopped. It was hailed as a great environmental victory. Tough times demand a tough leader, Senator Bob Packwood.
The best measure of any health plan is the loyalty of its subscribers. At ODS Health Plan, 98% of our subscribers renew with us. Most likely because we treat them the way we'd want to be treated ourselves, with understanding, respect, and the highest level of care at the lowest possible cost. We never forget who we really work for. That's why people are so loyal to us, and the feeling is mutual.
Find out why there isn't a drop to spare. Monday on News 8 at 5.
Getting ready to start the third quarter in Portland with the Trailblazers bidding to go up 2-0 on the Lakers, leading by 13 points. Kevin Duckworth and the Blazer Inside game got them going. Take us a look now at the Miller Genuine Draft halftime stat snapper and show us how they did it.
You know, with Kevin Duckworth, when he's scoring, that means that Portland is getting front line scoring, and they have a dominating advantage right there. Duckworth with an excellent first half start for Portland. The real key for the Los Angeles Lakers is trying to find Eldon Campbell and keep him in the ball game. They need rebounds, and it has been a big advantage for Portland again. In game one, they dominated the first half. They're doing the same thing. Eldon Campbell has to respond.
And a reminder, later in the game, we'll be presenting the Miller Genuine Draft Genuine Memories feature. We'll be back for the third quarter in just a moment.
Gillette presents Sensor, the system, the technology that will change the way you shave forever. Sensor, twin blades set on springs to read your face and respond. Independent suspension to sense and adjust to every curve of your face. No other razor comes close. Gillette Sensor, for the best shave a man can get.
Do you hunger for dirt and rocks? Do you salivate at the mere sight of a steep mountain trail? Are you getting enough roughage? 1992 Toyota 4x4 SR5 V6. For those who crave adventure, it's the ultimate feast. Bon appetit.
Because when you're racing for the America's Cup, you gotta travel light.
It's the right boat now.
Because when it comes to winning, these guys aren't afraid to go a little overboard.
It's the right boat now.
Because after all, you're pulling for America to win the America's Cup. So join the Silver Bullet in supporting America Cubed and its crew as they race to go all the way. Coors Light and America Cubed.
Right beer, right boat, right now.
Chicago, Miami. Michael Jordan and the world champion Bulls are feeling the heat. Then Detroit, New York. Two Eastern Conference rivals battle it out in the Big Apple. A rim-rocking NBA playoff doubleheader, Sunday on NBC. Coach Pat Riley talks about his first year with the Knicks, tomorrow on NBA Showtime.
Elmer, I want a new car.
We're not new car kind of people.
A Toyota Corolla with all kinds of fancy options.
We're not fancy options kind of people.
But now we can save big on air conditioning, AM, FM stereo cassettes, power windows and door locks, the whole shebang.
Save up to $1,100 on the Toyota Corolla LE Extra Value Package.
Guess we're fancy options kind of people now.
Change is good.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Dad, I really don't feel like cooking today. Let's go to McDonald's.
Tell me what you want, it's yours.
This place makes me happy. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Tell me what you need, it's yours.
2 more minutes.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
All right, that's enough. Let's go.
Some brewers look out the window and see skyscrapers. Some don't. The Coors family of fine beers. Golden, Colorado, since 1873.
even with shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive. High-track independent front suspension. And a rugged fuel-injected V6. There are still some places you'd never dream of taking your family unless you owned a Toyota 4Runner. Go ahead, put yourself out there.
In civilized society, any groovy lapse can result in a mortifying loss of station. But with Right Guard Sports Stick, one gets maximum protection. Well, off to the foxes. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Point of fact, it takes the average person an average of 20 keystrokes to do an average task with their PC. Counterpoint. You can do it with just a point and click with Microsoft Windows.
My house club always had Pert Plus in the locker room. It cleans, conditions. It's great. And one day they switched. This one said it was a 2-in-1, but it didn't condition as well.
Some 2-in-1s don't lather as well or leave hair feeling as clean. Some others don't fully condition. But Pert Plus's microbead conditioner leaves hair clean and completely conditioned.
So now when I go to my club, my Pert Plus goes with me.
Pert Plus, your hair will convince you.
Someday the city could die. The water's deadly poison. Unless Bobby and Eve can stop a criminal genius. Man and Machine, NBC Sunday at 8.
It's hard to describe when you hold your child for the very first time. You feel that little hand. You hear that little cry. You realize you're responsible for someone else. It changes your priorities. It even changes what you drive.
The 1992 Toyota Previa, along with standard driver's side airbag and optional anti-lock brakes. It's the only van to meet all passenger car Federal Motor Vehicle safety standards. Toyota Previa.
Changes everything.
Now for a little lesson in style. Very nice. Very easy. Very cool. Drinking alcohol at your prom and graduation parties, very stupid. High school students with real style know how to leave alcohol out.
This is the NBC Television Network.
When you've got a job to do, call on Magnum Power. The power of Dodge Dakota 4x4 Club Cab. Equipped with our new Magnum V8 engine. It'll out-haul, out-tow, just plain out-work any comparable Ford, Chevy, or import compact. Dakota is simply the best all-around pickup in America, bar none. Plus, you can get savings of over $3,400 on select Magnum Club Cabs. Put Magnum Power to work for you.
Now, see a special selection of Magnum trucks at your local Northwest Dodge dealer.
News from the plant. Here we are at the Powerball payment plant. As you can see, we're running at full capacity, trying to keep up with the winners. This is production line B, where we stack, fold, and bundle the $100,000 winners. Say, Jane, where's that one going?
To a Frank Stallwell in Eugene.
Frank, if you're watching, your cash is on the way. Powerball, new from the Oregon Lottery.
Finally, the real story, Elvis. A Rimrocket NBA playoff doubleheader, Sunday on NBC.
Jeep Cherokee Sport is the perfect vehicle for traveling America's most famous roads. Like Wall Street, Pacific Coast Highway, Park Avenue, and, of course, Sunset Boulevard.
Now save an additional $1,500 on new Jeep Cherokees.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
filtered. Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Viscosity breakdown is a very important issue. It's probably the most important issue on the motor oil. You want the oil protecting at the same time you don't want it to break down, and Pennzoil is definitely the oil they use. Pennzoil outperforms any other leading motor oil against viscosity breakdown. Using Pennzoil, I have not seen any oil-related problems in our race car and our engines. It's good enough to run in my racing engine. I think it ought to be good enough for everybody else to use it. Pennzoil, performance, protection, quality, that says it all.
Presenting the new Jeep. Here's the inside. Here's the outside. The bottom. The top. Here it is by itself. Here it is with its competition.
Introducing Dave's Salad Days at Wendy's.
You know, a lot of people are getting Wendy's new fresh salads to go through the pickup window. I guess they're in a hurry, and that's good, because we got a lot of salads. Our taco salad with rich and meaty chili, deluxe garden salad, and a delicious new grilled chicken salad with a breadstick, my daughter Wendy's idea. And we make them every day for people on the go.
5 salads that are fresh, fast, and ready to go.
Boy, it's amazing how much broccoli you get from one little bag of seeds.
Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Everybody needs some.
$12 for every mile over the limit.
Everybody.
That's $300.
You can add fast, too.
When you need money fast.
Hello, Joan?
Only Western Union can get it to 16,000 locations in minutes. Nobody else even comes close.
French 101.
Something in my heart just told me.
And biology 903.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money. And to send money by credit card from home. Call us at 1-800-CALL-CASH.
Introducing the new Jeep. With an all-new four-wheel drive system and exclusive standard driver's side airbag. No other vehicle gives you so much latitude.
I hear some poor sap named Al bought a Toyota Celica All-Track, then found out this Eagle Talon cost almost $5,000 less.
Look, I don't want to talk about it, okay?
Al?
By day, I race an Eagle Talon, but by night, I'm practicing to be a great opera singer.
Oh, what do your fans say to that?
Don't quit your day job.
You're not going to go home and leave this half finished, are you?
I got 6 days, Dad. We'll make it.
At Glidden, we know how hard it can be to find time to paint. That's why spread house paint is formulated to cover the first time, so you can finish in less time.
I guess you'll be going back early then.
I thought I might stick around for a few days.
All right.
Glidden, a better way to paint.
But don't expect me to cook for you.
Dan figures the time he saves using Microsoft Excel for his budget is time well spent with others. Microsoft Excel, the spreadsheet for Windows.
When a man ran a grueling 26-mile marathon in a pair of dress shoes, what was he thinking? He was thinking, I'm glad they're Rockports. Rockport, you should be in our shoes.
Gillette presents Sensor, the system.
The technology that will change the way you shave forever. Sensor, twin blades set on springs to read your face and respond. Independent suspension to sense and adjust to every curve of your face. No other razor comes close. Gillette Sensor, for the best shave a man can get.
AT&T Reach Out America customers will soon hear 40% more laughter. Their memories will be 40% brighter. And their smiles will be 40% warmer. Because calls made from 5 to 10 p.m. on your June bill will be 40% less than AT&T standard rates for customers with an evening discount. 40% off on calls to everyone. And 40% less means 40% more to share.
It's like the best.
They go with the Moses. Shoot it, Moses, from midcourt.
It's like that sports car, that Ferrari.
Jackson, behind the back for Ewing. Spectacular.
The best cheesecake you ever had.
3-on-1.
I love this game.
Join us tomorrow as NBC's coverage of the NBA continues with an action-packed doubleheader starting with NBA Showtime at 12:30. Miami, Chicago, and Detroit, New York coming your way tomorrow here on NBC. For Steve Jones and Joel Myers, I'm Tom Hammond, and this has been a presentation of the NBA on NBC.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC.
Conference crown the Utah Jazz, right where they're supposed to be, along with the Blazers. The Suns, well, they've dug in the Spurs on San Antonio. Tonight, Jeff Hornacek scored 31. Phoenix rolled over San Antonio 119-107. And yes, they lead their best-of-5 series 2-0. Now, Hornacek and the band left the Spurs just hanging around, but they never gave them any genuine hope they could actually win this game. What with David Robinson out due to injury, this series is a Phoenix loss. Hornacek put the game away on this move midway through the fourth period. 119-107 in the final. The Spurs' last game of the year will likely be Wednesday in Game 3 in the Alamo City. Now, the Jazz have taken a 2-0 lead in their series with the Clippers. Jeff Malone lets her rip. Utah opens up a 90-84 lead in the fourth period. John Stockton, he was magnificent again tonight, dishing out 19 assists. One right here to a lumbering Mark Eaton. That took whatever wind was left out of the Clippers' sails. Utah played with poise down the stretch. They hold off L.A. 103-92. Both the Clippers and Lakers could be eliminated within 24 hours at midweek. So sad. So sad. New York and Detroit played a whale of a game today. Charles Oakley with a sensational tip of the missed shot, and the Knicks lead by 1 with 21 seconds to go. But Isaiah Thomas comes through in the clutch to nail the jumper with 8 seconds to go. 89-88 Detroit, the final. Their best-of-5 series is now even at a game apiece. Game 2 between Miami and Chicago was another blowout. Scottie Pippen had 33 on the afternoon, 2 on this example of clean larceny. Michael Jordan with 30 on the day, as Chicago cooled the Heat 120-90. They now are but a win away from a series sweep as they look to repeat their crown of last year. The Blazers and the Lakers renew their tussle Wednesday in Tinseltown. One more Blazer win, and this one is history. The Lakers, well, they may as well ask for the cigarette and blindfold.
There's no time to regroup. You don't have time to regroup. This is the playoffs. You just have to go out and do your best. We know what we have to do. We know what situation we're in. We've been in this situation all year long, so it's no different now. We just have to go out and come out like fight and catch. All
they're going to see is the claw marks on the wall. In baseball today, the L.A. Dodgers were oh so close to a serious sweep of their arch rivals from San Francisco, but Kevin Bass wouldn't think of it. So with the score tied at 4 in the 11th inning,
taking the first 2 games of the playoffs from the beat-up Lakers. And tonight the Suns follow the example by pounding the short-handed Spurs. No David Robinson in the middle for San Antonio, and that means lots of room to rumble for guys like Andrew Lang. No way he'd do this kind of thing over David Robinson. But Jeff Hornacek would do this. David Robinson or no David Robinson. He pops in 31 points tonight. And so does Tim Perry. The Suns stuffing the Spurs 119-107. Phoenix just 1 win away from playing the winner of the Lakers-Blazers series. And this fan is telling the Blazers it's rematch time in Suns world. Excellent choice. Okay, well, the L.A. Clippers getting the jump on the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City. Ron Harper is going to make his point. 20 for Harper. It's close most of the way until Karl Malone decides to pick up his brush and take over the paint. Malone with 32 points, 13 rebounds. The Jazz take over in the fourth. John Stockton, another great day of dishing out the passes. 19 assists for Stockton. Utah goes up 2-0. Jazz 103, Clippers 92. The Knicks trying to go 2-up on the Pistons. Patrick Ewing gets that Detroit stuff out of here. It's off the other way. Mark Jackson, the finish. And the Knicks by 12. But Detroit comes back like a school fundraiser. John Sally slams it down over Ewing, and Detroit is within 2. Mark Jackson, boy, look at this, the pass of the game right here. No look to Patrick Ewing, who will knock it down, turn it into an assist. The Knicks lead by a point, though, with 10 seconds left, and it's Isaiah Thomas, shades of his heroics against the Blazers 2 years ago, knocks it down. Detroit evens the series with an 89-88 win. Now, they tried slow motion, but they still couldn't slow down the Bulls. Scottie Pippen all over Miami today. 30 points, slam that baby down. With Pippen going inside, Michael Jordan did a lot of camping outside today. Michael with 33 points. Chicago doing whatever they wanted with the Heat, so Jordan barely uses his driver's license. Just park the car and launch it with the window rolled down, I guess. This one is a rout. The Bulls run down the Heat, stuff them in Chicago today. Bulls 120, Heat 90. Chicago also with a 2-0 lead. On to baseball now, where the Kansas City Royals didn't look like they were getting any help from the schedule maker tonight. The worst team in the majors brought their 9-game
terrific season. Tonight they took on the Jazz in Game 2 of their best-of-5 playoff series. The Jazz were 37-4 at home during the regular season, so the Clippers had their hands full. This is Ron Harper with the monster jam. Clippers were tough in this one. Late in the game, the score was tied at 84. Karl Malone gets the jumper. Utah took the lead 86-84. Malone had 32 points. John Stockton had a big game, 21 points and 19 assists. The Jazz win at 103-92. Utah leads the series 2-0, and they can close it out Tuesday at L.A. Meanwhile, the Knicks and Pistons had a great one at Madison Square Garden in New York. The Knicks, Mark Jackson with a great behind-the-back pass to Patrick Ewing. He hits the soft, short jumper. This game went down to the wire. Pistons down by 1. Isaiah Thomas gives Detroit the lead with this jumper. There were just 7.6 seconds to go. It was 89-88. The Knicks had a chance to win it, but they missed 2 shots in the final seconds. The Pistons hang on to win it 89-88. The series now even at 1 game apiece, with Game 3 Tuesday at Detroit. There were 2 other games in the NBA. Michael Jordan had 33. The Bulls take a 2-0 lead on Miami, and the Suns also have a 2-0 series lead after beating the Spurs in Phoenix. Blazers are back in action on Wednesday when they meet the Lakers in Los Angeles for Game 3 of their best-of-5 series. The Blazers buried L.A. in the first 2 games of the series, but they still have respect for the Lakers.
These guys have showed at the end of the season what kind of character they have, and they're not going to quit. They don't want to get swept. Nobody wants to be embarrassed like that, and they're going to come out on their home court and give us a tough game.
We got another game to play. You know, been in some tough situations, you know, in the playoffs before, and hey, you know, we just got to go out and, you know, and play ball.
There were 4 games tonight in the Stanley Cup.
Neither Clyde Drexler nor Jerome Kersey practiced today. The coach is just letting them heal some of their wounds. Clyde talked to us about not taking anything for granted.
To be perfectly honest with you, we haven't had really an easy time. I think we've played extremely well. And when you play that hard and you get good results, it's not because that the other team is not playing hard or they're not as good. It's just you're just doing what you do best, and you're making the other team look bad.
I just want to get this over with. I think the quicker, if we can win Wednesday, it gives us a chance to get a couple more days and prepare for the next series. If we don't, then we're in a series, and it's going to be a real battle.
Now, Game 3 is at the Forum Wednesday night, 7:30 start. We'll have Joe Becker down there in La La Land for live reports. And like Rick Adelman said, they'd like to end this thing as quickly as possible and then move on. Well, the Utah Jazz last night moved a step closer to sweeping their series with the Clippers. Stockton and Malone clicking on all cylinders right now. Game 2 of the Jazz Clippers right here. Second quarter. This is last night. Stockton with the rare turnover. Ron Harper goes flying in for the jam. The Clippers led by 8 at one point. But the Jazz got rolling on their home floor. Stockton with a nice pass to Malone, who draws the foul and scores. Malone had 32. It was 86-84 Jazz. Then, late in the game, Stockton with the steal that seals the win. 103-92 the final for Utah. The Jazz lead that series 2-0.
and they, like the Blazers, are looking for a big sweep. And the Bucks keep flying around in big league baseball. Doug Drabeck of the Pirates reported he's in the alley-oop slam. Jerome Kersey, long to Terry Porter, who leaves it behind the back for Cliff. He dunks it again. And then it's Clyde's turn. Hammers that baby home, and then watch him in traffic. Weaves in, takes it where he wants to take it. And how about the Duck? The big rejection, he looked good. This, though, is the Chainsaw Man, hired on Saturday to juggle chainsaws at the Coliseum. He was going good, and then disaster. So much for the floor. Karl Malone tried to rearrange the phones on press row. Chip Hale, the Beavers here, steals.
Rick Adelman was up to no good before today's practice. He almost tricked trainer Mike Sheminsky into coming out for an interview. Mike just says no to the media, and Adelman had him running scared. Sheminsky did not have time to chat anyway, working on Clyde Drexler and Jerome Kersey, who missed the workout, just resting up for Game 3 and perhaps a Blazers sweep.
Not any hope at all. You know, we have to come down there and we have to come out like we came out to play these two games, really focused and paying attention in detail and going out and taking care of business.
Well, you have to stay on one game at a time on the team that you're playing. You have to focus all your attention toward that team. I think we can't afford to look ahead. I think that's what happened last season.
Now the series resumes Wednesday night in Los Angeles. You can see all of Game 3 right here on Channel 6. It commences at 7:30. Of course, a Blazers win wraps this baby up. Then stay tuned for a special edition of Newsroom 6 at 11:30. Minutes after the game, we'll be living large in Smogsville with all the highlights and interviews. Now, this sounds like one for the psychiatrist's couch. We saw Cliff Robinson talking trash to Cliff Robinson. Now, whoa, before you become too concerned, here's my partner running in shots with an explanation.
Cliff Robinson, meet Cliff Robinson. One for the LA Lakers, one for the Portland Trail Blazers. Same name, but different NBA stories, that's for sure. Portland's Cliff is a young up-and-comer, while LA's Mr. Robinson has bounced around the league over 10 years, from the NBA to the CBA, and now back up to the big show, buried on the bench where talk is cheap.
I'm the original Cliff Robinson. Don't you know that?
Well, I would assume you're a little older than the guy.
Just a little bit, though. Well, he's the original Cliff Robinson in the NBA. I will give him that. But other than that, I don't know. He says he wants you, man. I want him to begin the game.
Well, unfortunately, Cliff blew his big showdown against the other guy when he was ejected in the third period of Game 2. What a letdown.
Everybody's been waiting for that one. I don't know. I can't tell you about that. He wasn't in the game when I was in there. I was booted by the time he got there.
He got in there, though, Cliff. Yeah.
He did get in. I seen the game.
Looking for you.
Did he have a headband?
Nope, but I bet you guys could work something out for Game 3 in L.A. Ann Schatz, Newsroom 6 Sports.